Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn 101. This episode is going to be talking about crafting abilities. Now, some of you may remember I did a video about this very briefly, where I discussed that most crafting classes have the same abilities. Well, each crafting class does have 3 unique abilities that other crafting classes don't have inherently. So I'm going to be talking about the class-specific ones. Please keep in mind that I'm going to be using some terminology from that video, so if you don't know some of the words that I'm going to be using, such as inner quiet, please check out the video. I'll put a link right here in the video for a couple of seconds. You can go check that out and then come back once you understand the abilities a little bit better. Also keep in mind that crafting abilities are subject to the armory system. This means that if you do level one craft to 50, you can use some of these unique abilities on your other crafting classes. So if you level multiple crafting classes, you will have the most effectiveness. But we'll get into that when I discuss crafting classes in another video. So I'm going to be covering these in no specific order, but we're going to jump right into it. It's going to be really quick. Carpenter is the first one we're going to cover, and their first ability is called Rumination. It removes the inner quiet effect and restores CP proportional to the number of times control was increased. That is, that inner quiet increases control for every successful step. It has no cost, and it's simply a CP regenerative ability. 15 CP for the next one is called Brand of Wind. Now, there's a brand for a lot of these crafts, so you're going to be hearing this a lot. It increases your progress, but it's double the effectiveness if it's a wind affinity synthesis. So it has 200% effectiveness, as you can see, when it's wind, and it's got a success rate of 90%, which is pretty good. Those numbers will be pretty static across the rest of the brands. Final ability that Carpenter has that's unique is Byregot's Blessing. Costs 24 CP, and it simply increases your quality. However, it stacks if you have more stacks of inner quiet, so it kind of works the opposite of Rumination. You kind of have to decide which one you're going to want to use when you have those inner quiet stacks. And it's got a 70% success rate. Not bad, but not too reliable at the same time. The next class we're going to be talking about is Leatherworker. Again, these are in no specific order. Leatherworker has 2 abilities, Waste Not 1 and 2. As you can see, the CP costs here go up with the level. Reduces the durability loss of your steps for the next 4 to 8 turns. Rank 1 is for 4 turns, and rank 2 is for 8 turns. And the other ability that they have is Brand of Earth. Only costs 15 CP. They all do that. Does the same thing as Brand of Wind, except for Earth Affinity Synthesis. So it's double the effectiveness for Earth, and it's got a success rate of 90%. Next, you have Goldsmith. Goldsmith's first ability is called Manipulation. It costs 150 CP, and it gives you plus 5 durability after every step for the next 10 steps. So as you can see, it's a very expensive ability, but it pays in terms of prolonging the synthesis in terms of getting high-quality synths. So you'll get plus 5 durability at the end of every turn, and every turn essentially costs 10 durability, so it's essentially getting 1 turn every 2 turns. The next ability is Flawless Synthesis. It just increases your progress by a flat 50, so you'll understand that a little bit better in my crafting video, and has a high success rate of 90%, costs 15 CP, not so bad. Goldsmith's last ability is called Innovation. It increases your control by 30% for 5 steps, which is big. Again, watch that video. I explain what control does in that video. Only costs 18 CP, so really good. Next, we have Alchemist, already halfway through this almost. Their first ability is called Tricks of the Trade, and it restores 45 CP. However, it only works when the material status is unfavorable. Now, I'm going to be covering that in my crafting class. That's something that Alchemist is going to have to get to know pretty well. Next is Brand of Water. It's again same as the other brands, but it's double the effectiveness for water, success rate of 90%, cost 15 CP. Next, and the final ability for Alchemist is Comfort Zone. Costs 58 CP, but it restores 10 CP after every step for the next 10 steps. So essentially, it's investment. You'll put 58 CP into the ability, and it will generate back 100 CP over the course of 10 turns if your synthesis lasts that long. And that's it for Alchemist, so let's move on to the next one is Blacksmith. Their first ability is called Ingenuity. Ingenuity. Yeah, that's not how it's pronounced, but, well, you can see. They have 2 stacks of this, and the first one lowers the recipe level to the current level, your current level, for the next 3 steps. This means that if you're trying to conquer a crafting ability, recipe that's a higher level than yours, that it brings it down to your level, so the difficulty decreases. Only costs 42 CP. Ingenuity 2, however, costs 85 CP, but it lowers the recipe level to 3 below yours. Difficulty becomes a lot easier that way. And their final ability is Brand of Fire, which is 15 CP, same as Wind, double effectiveness for fire, and has a 90% success rate. Next we have Weaver. Weaver has, again, it has another stacking ability. It has Careful Synthesis 1 and 2. Careful Synthesis 1 increases your progress with an 80% efficiency with a 100% success rate, and Careful Synthesis 2 is 100% efficiency for a 100% success rate. Neither of them cost any CP, so it's just a nice way of increasing your progress with a guaranteed rate. And they have Brand of Lightning also, which is 15 CP. It's the same as the other ones. Double effectiveness for lightning and has a 90% success rate. Next we have Armorer, which has Rapid Synthesis as their first ability. It increases your progress with an efficiency of 250%, which is extremely high. However, its success rate is only 50%, so it's a high risk, high reward ability. Next is Brand of Ice, 15 CP, same as all the other brands. I don't think I need to repeat it again. And finally, we have Piece by Piece, also 15 CP, and increases your remaining progress by 1/3 with a success rate of 90%. This seems like an ability that would work best right at the beginning if you were trying to get a super high progress rate. Depending on what kind of other progress abilities you have, I'm not exactly sure how it'll all work together. And finally, we have Culinarian, which their first ability is called Hasty Touch. It increases your quality, doesn't have a CP cost, and it works at an efficiency of 100%, but with an extremely low success rate of only 50%. So it's another high risk, high reward ability, very similar to Rapid Synthesis except for your quality. Next you have Steady Hand 2. This is the only class that actually has Steady Hand 2. Steady Hand 1 is a regular ability, as you'll see in the previous video. Costs 35 CP and improves your success rate by 20% for the next 5 steps. So this is an ability that'll really come in handy with those super low success rate abilities. And finally, you have Reclaim, which is 144 CP, a lot, and it increases the chance that materials will not be lost after botching your synthesis, which means failing essentially. So you learned a lot from this video. As you can see, these abilities are all pretty unique, and you'll want to level multiple crafts to really make the best of them. If you found this video useful, please like, favorite, subscribe, and share, especially if you have someone who kind of wants to know what the benefits would be to leveling all the different crafts. I'm going to be doing a crafting video tomorrow explaining how crafting works in general. I'm not going to go in how to use every ability. I'll leave that for you guys. Maybe I'll do one much later along the lines, but for now it's just going to cover those basic thoughts. Also, check out my Facebook at www.facebook.com/MrHappy1227. If you go there, you can ask me questions, request videos. We can just hang out. You know, it's just a nice little community of people that are my subscribers here, and it's a really nice place to get to know people and to find out about link shells and free companies and things like that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for next time when I will be talking about crafting in general.